And we're live from the Res, Two Dark Natives.
I'm Andre Dominguez, co-host Raul Chrisman.
In the house, and we are here with special guest, none other than Mr. Mike Mirelez, DC Bird Spitfire in the house. How you doing, Mike?
Good.
It's good to see you, man. It's good to have you down here
Good to be here.
in these parts. We've had Viejas gathering here for many, many moons now. And you've always come to them. You come down, you shared your song, and you come shared your dance, always your good vibes here for the Peon and all that stuff. And so it's good to see you here again, once again, in Viejas, Baron Long. How has your trail been there, sir?
Good. Traveling all the time. Traveling's always been good. I'm not new to it, so I have my routine. And I always love coming here. This is one of my favorites because remember back in the day when I was doing my MMA fighting, you guys were the only ones that supported me. You guys actually sponsored me. Back home, it wasn't so receptive. But you guys did, and so because of that, I've always been indebted. So I come. The only time I go places is if I'm invited. If I'm not invited, I don't go. Yeah. Except for here. I crash your guys' thing every time.
We always welcome you. Sometimes on our end, you're like, oh man, I think we invited everybody. And you're like, oh no, we didn't invite nobody, you know. But people take that for granted, right? They just assume you're going to come. Like, we have a gathering, they're all going to come. And it's like, it's not the Field of Dreams, right? You should actually give that respect to invite, you believe?
To me, that's one of my pet peeves, and I'm just going to say it, is that when people put out a flyer and say, Bird Singer's welcome, contact so-and-so, that's not cool.
Yeah.
You know, because it's traditionally you invite. You know, you're the host. You call out and say, "Hey, we'd really like you to come out, and this is what we can offer. You know, we appreciate if you can come." You invite the singer. Just to expect us to show up, you know, that's not fair because we put things on hold so we can be there, and it just kind of it takes for granted when you do that. Like you expected. Well, to me that's like, well, you know how to barbecue. I'm gonna show up at your house every Sunday. Expect that steak. You know?
So you talked about routine. What is the routine, on any average given gathering you're going to go to? What do you do on those days to get ready before you show up?
Like, do you prepare? Do you
got some kind of ritual?
Yeah. I know Raul does.
Jump in the river.
Well, we ain't got no river. I'm desert. People be talking about the rain dancing. Yeah, that was my time.
Could dance a long time. You're going to wait for the rain.
It'd be the rainforest Cahuilla. My routine is, I'm really kind of OCD. So I have my suitcase, I have my rattle bag all in place, and then the clothes I'm going to wear, bam, 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 they're all just put away, and my speakers, make sure I'm comfortable. And my ice chest full of my drinks, so when I hit the road, boom, I'm going.
Pack that 3 days in advance or what?
That's cool. I just have a routine, so everything's already set. So I'm just place. So to me, I don't like unorganized because to me it's important to be there on time and to be there to do what they're asking us to do. Yeah. So for me, it's important to have that routine so that I'm not late. And it's funny because a lot of my co-singers and then dancers, they'll say, "Oh, he's late picking us up," and I go, "But are we late singing? Are we late singing?" Well, no, and I say that's all that matters then. If I tell you to be ready, I'm telling you an hour to be ahead. I may come an hour late, but we're never late singing. So.
Take notes, Andre. See? Me too. Meanwhile, they're all standing there and I'm running up to the hay in the middle.
Right.
Stall. Someone give a good speech. Hey, somebody choose somebody out. I need some time.
Well, my other fail-safe is, how can the lead ever be late? I'm the lead.
Yeah. That's true, too. We'll start when I show up.
How much prep do you put into, going somewhere, say, like throughout the week? Do you prepare prior? Do you start days out, getting like your special outfit, put together? Or do you train? Do you train to do the gathering and the singing and all the different things you do? Do you train for that? I know you train, you stay in shape and mixed martial arts and that, but do you kind of train for the gathering a little bit?
No. I prepare for the gathering, meaning like I have my routines with if I'm writing it, then I have to have, because there's situations that arise, and to make sure that there's no hiccups, I already have like little routines to make sure how to deal with those situations. Like not enough players, if there's not enough corpsmates, or if they're singing, if a singing group doesn't show up. We go to these things, we see the same people all the time. Yeah. So I can predict who's going to show up, and if they don't, well then I'll place this singing group next. Because to me, the order matters. Yeah. It does make the event. Instead of getting there and letting the thing go random, people like to do things random. Not me, I like to think about it ahead of time. Because I look out in the crowd and like to see the dancers. You can make that moment happen. And that's what the fiesta is about. Those gatherings are about not only That's what feeds the soul, that whole experience. And that's what we work towards. So to me, I really look at it like what's going to lift the spirit of the people when we're having this group sing, and you have to do it kind of like the way I kind of see the music.
Yeah.
I like trance music, rave music, because it kind of slows down, comes out, builds, and then boom, it takes off. So that's kind of the blueprint for me.
You hanging out in trap houses?
I see my work.
To me, that's how I like. That's the formula I use when I do a gathering. You know, to build it up, and you get to make sure that final ending is the one that leaves everybody hungry.
So when you're kind of scheduling groups as to who goes first, who goes last, second, you are kind of creating a rhythm of the whole gathering.
Right.
That's the attempt to do. Okay.
Yeah.
You ever find people don't understand that and want to?
I don't think anybody understands it.
Get
Not to be
kinda funky?
mean,
Yeah.
I just don't think people see the details of it. Just like, chefs back there cooking, I'm not paying attention to the ingredients. All I care about is the flavor of what I'm eating.
And then chefs do the same thing. They start off with a salad, the entree, and then that dessert. So it's the same concept. Yeah. That's cool. I like that. That's crazy that because I don't think people don't understand that, especially if you're running it. That's something like in the background, they put off to like one person or a couple people, and if you haven't done it long enough, like someone like you, they don't understand those concepts of having to entertain people from noon or 1 all the way until realistically 6-7 o'clock in the morning the next day. That's a lot of work or whatnot. Someone who's running a whole program like that. That's cool. I like that.
Let me ask a question. What to you would be a successful event? Like, what would it be? Meaning, like, not naming an event, just what would tell you that what you did was successful?
No, we'll name them. Let me tell you, here's the list. Let me tell you what I don't like. And who.
Then we'll go to
Well, we're going to have an extended podcast today.
Tune in.
Now, for me, this is probably for everybody, but I always think of my family. So I think of getting there and getting home safely. That's always like very key. You got to have the safety of being able to get there and getting home, especially when, like if they're my kids and the world ends, okay, we're walking home kids. But if I'm taking somebody else's kids especially, I got to make sure that they're in a very safe environment. I want to make sure that they're being... that they're not just safety as in physical, but also mentally. I want them to be around supportive people. I want them to have, be treated well and to see respect on display, and then have the opportunity to learn and grow within our culture. And then after that, it was obviously to have a good time. You want to have fun and you want to enjoy yourself. And I think you kind of know when you go to a good event or function, because when you get home the next day and you're resting, and the day after, you're at work or whatever you do, and you still kind of can laugh about things that happen, on Saturday, or you have good feelings about what happened on Saturday, or, and sometimes, you play all night peon and you lose and it sucks. At the same time, if it's a good event, you can look back at that loss and laugh about it, be really happy about it, actually. And I feel like when there's a good event, you feel kind of cared for. You go home and you feel nourished. Like you said earlier, your spirit feels strong. So I feel like when it's a good event, you just go home feeling good. It's almost like you worked all week to get there, and then come Monday, when a lot of people are dragging, you're actually kind of re-energized. You feel good, and you're not angry at nobody. You're not upset. I don't know. And if you win, I guess that helps. But
no, yeah, for sure. I think the same thing. I mean, I don't have a big old family like him, but for me, if I show up to a gathering and I see people, enjoying themselves, for me, I go a lot of the times to go sing or to just enjoy like the environment around, have almost like fellowship. We all come together, we all have a good time. We can all sit there and enjoy each other's presence without any conflict or anything like that. So for me, just going there, a successful program or successful gathering is being able to relax realistically, because for me, I work all week and then I come on a Saturday. I don't want any problems. I don't want, things going, this way or that way. So if I can go to a gathering, relax, enjoy the music, enjoy, everybody's company, and then, like you said, get home at a reasonable time, sleep, and then, be done with basically my weekend. Because, if I'm playing peon all night, then Sunday I'm relaxing. So that would be a successful gathering for myself. But as a gathering in the whole, I mean, there's a lot of, I think, factors on that because there's so many different people and different things going on. So I don't know.
To me, a successful gathering is one where you're there and you forget about the clock.
Yeah.
Time just doesn't seem to exist anymore. And you're just laughing. You hear laughter throughout the whole event. And the final thing that would tell me this is a successful event is that no one wants to go home. No one wants to go home.
That's pretty true, though. I mean, like, their gatherings, I'm just like, man, we gotta go, we gotta leave. You're like, yeah, you want to sit there and, like, you want to bird all night, you know? You're like, okay, well, the next thing's going on or whatnot. Yeah, that's actually a really good.
And then when you get home, like you said, once you leave that gathering, it kind of sets the bar for everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, it wasn't as good as that one time, you know, when we're in Viejas, and, you know, remember that, and you keep going back. And with things like that, a successful gathering gives you those memories for you to pull from and feed your soul every single time. When you hear those dark times, those hard times, you look back at that, and that's what feeds your soul. That's what helps you keep going to the next one, or makes it all the struggle to make things like that happen worth it. So to me, that's a successful gathering.
I think it's a good opportunity to learn too, because like what you're talking about, you know, you drop back in those memories. In those settings, when you drop back into those memories, I think there's songs that you hear, there's things that you're told, and those teachings stick with you a lot longer than sitting in some class and someone saying, do this, 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 and this. And that's why I think there's so much value in hitting the trail. The happy trail that we all do, the bird, but then, you know, there's the sad trails too, you know, whether you're a grave digger or you know, you help with the cremations, or you're a singer in the big house, wherever you're at in our culture, you know, the ladies who cook and do all of that, those lessons that you learn in those moments, that's like where the learning's at. Yeah. You know, I totally agree with that. I think also, you know, you got to beware too, if you make it too good, then they may not let you go home. Boys born in Andre, they're going to wipe you up, man. Be careful.
Oh man! So check out that beating there. So where'd you get that? What's the story behind that?
So this is a tribal emblem of Torres Martinez. The area used to be called Sucut Minil. Sucut Minil means moon deer, and this was done by a real good friend of mine, Frida Redhouse. Her and her daughter Kesty, they do amazing beadwork. So I had hit her up about making the emblem for me. You know, bead me a dally. So she did it, and then I did the rope myself.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I like it.
So my dad's from Torres Martinez and everything. So
cousin. Hey, you guys are cousins, didn't know?
Yeah. So my dad's from there, and I don't know. I don't really know that side of the family. I didn't grow up with my dad or whatnot, but I've always liked that emblem. It's freaking awesome. But yeah.
My uncle was the one that drew it out for the tribe.
Yeah.
My grandmother's the one that came with the saying, because under it you would see Mo Walama Sukat Minil. Mo Walama Sukat Minil means where the moon deer roam among the palms.
Whoa.
So so my family has like deep ties with this emblem.
Dang.
So we didn't make it up, but they did design it and put it out there.
And for everybody out there, no, it is not the Jägermeister design.
Yeah.
Let's get set the record straight here on that.
Bad Chipotle's. Oh, it's bad.
No, it is not the predecessor to the White Claw either. So, Mike, you play peon, you sing bird, you coordinate. You pretty much do it all. And over the years, you've done it all. What's number one in your book? What do you prefer to do the most? What's the most rewarding?
Yeah, it's a whole. I can't do pieces. I can't separate it. For me, it's all one thing. You know, that's how life is. You know, so every piece is important. It's vital. You know, even down to the hand games, you know, gambling, all that, you know, that's the social aspect. So, to me, I see it as one whole thing. And that's the thing is, I think we need to stop looking at our culture as just bird. You know, I'm just a peon player. Or I just dig, you know, I just help dig, you know. We need to start looking at things as a whole. Not everybody has to be every single thing.
One, yeah.
But, you know that it's all a part of your life. And this is how we use it in our lives. Because for each of us, we're going to have to deal with wakes. So there goes the diggers. We're going to have to deal with, bird, because you want to have a good time. Plus, you guys have other social songs. We don't. As Cuhuillas, we only have social thing. We have peon and bird. And then our feeds, those are the only social, like, customs and traditions that I could think of that we have left, you know, that we do as a people. Then we have our wakes. Thankfully, we have our wakes thanks to Catherine Silosabo, who kept them going. And now I sing those songs. So thankfully we have our wake songs that are separate from singing bird. You know, those for us get to say social, because for Cahuilla, bird is strictly a social song. So, but as a whole, you know, the whole thing is, that's my life. That's what I look at as my life. So I love my life. I love the fact that I was blessed, that the people that I learned from, my teachers, that they trusted me enough to share it with me and teach it to me. And now I said my responsibility is, to teach it and share it, so I just wait for the students to pop up.
So so you learned, and how did you get started into learning? How did you get into like this whole environment of everything? I know, a lot of people are born into it or whatnot, but there's at one point in I think everyone's life, you have to want this. And where did that transition happen? And where did you you got a teacher and then you learned and then you kind of continue from there? Because I see you now, you're teaching everywhere, you're trying to keep it alive. So where did it all start?
For me, growing up in TM, there was nothing. There was nothing going on. There was no singing going on. It's not in my lifetime. Mm-hmm. Before, yes, but in my lifetime, which is from 74 to current. No, to not current, to I would say about 90. Mm-hmm. And there was no singing, no dancing, nothing. You didn't hear the language. We didn't. And maybe some people had it in their households, but as for everybody to experience it, no. The only thing we did do always, the tradition always stayed, was the feeds that we have. Mm. And the community feeds where they put on a dinner, we come for Christmas and Thanksgiving.
People love to eat.
And when I first heard Bird, I was hooked. That's what it was. And, just seeing it, because there was nothing else to tell us that we were Cuhuilla or even give us an experience of what it was. And it wasn't until I first heard Bird that I was hooked. I wanted to learn it. I just started bugging. I was about 17 when I heard Bird for the first time. I didn't get to. I don't get to say I get to grow up with it. Or I grew up with it because it wasn't going on. And so, anyways, once I heard it, I was hooked. And I just sat back and I looked around who's doing it, who's the leader of it, and I started gravitating towards the ones who were leading it. And the journey and trying to learn has been an amazing one. And it's funny because what helped me to learn my culture was another culture, which is Eastern philosophy. Because I was always into martial arts, so I was always watching those kung fu flicks, where the student has to earn the right to learn from the master. Yeah. And the master would make him go through all these trials and things, these tests before he would accept him as a disciple.
No, we do that in our group, for sure. My cousin, we took him out to Vegas. He said, I'm going to start singing with you. All right, And he grew up on the res, just around it, but he just never thought it was for him. And then he finally said, all right, I'll do it. So we went out to Snowbird Powell to sing. And he said, all right, I'm going to make my debut. We took him to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. He didn't know he was going there until he got out there, like, hey, we got to go sing tonight at Supai. Man, he went down there. He had to do all of these crazy things. Said, all right, you earned all the ribbons to your shirt. Yeah. But that had to instill a lot of respect into the practice, I imagine, huh?
It did, and so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because in the beginning I was told no. Every single elder I asked, no. I'd sit there and listen to them sing, and they're talking like nobody cares about this, nobody wants this. It's sad, look where we're at. Just two old men singing. I said so, but as soon as they were done, I'm like, I want to learn. No, it's not for you. What? Just heard this big old speech. And what it was is that years later I get it. What they had to see how serious I was. Yeah, everybody says, I want to learn it, and that's what I had to do. I just kept showing up wherever I heard they were singing, and that was the thing. There was no fiestas, there was no gatherings back in the day. In the 90s, there wasn't. There was at least we didn't even know you guys were over here. We didn't even know maybe you guys had gatherings, but we didn't know about them. Yeah. The only way we hear Bird is if somebody knew somebody, a singer, and they're gonna have a barbecue or a birthday party. Yeah. And so for me, I had to wait until that happened to where I could just crash it and listen to those guys sing, and they keep like, this kid's here again. So yeah, finally I kept popping up and showing up and just proving that I wasn't gonna go nowhere. And then they started putting me to work doing different things, and they finally let me in.
It's funny you bring up mixed martial arts, our martial arts, because I think back to Morongo 95, 96, 97, in those years, I was just a young guy going up there. And it reminds me of the early days of the UFC where you had the kung fu fighter, the karate fighter, the wrestler, now everyone does everything and knows everybody's stuff. But it seemed like back then, listening, do they sing Bird over there too? I didn't know that. And you're listening to a song hey, we sing that song, but it's different, or the melody's a little different, or just things were different a little bit. But you see, and then the women who dance, you could see a real difference, the ladies from Mojave versus the Cahuilla ladies, and the singing, at that time, even from down the river to the top of the river, a little bit different. And you could really see the difference, it seemed like. For me, I ended up going out there, I was like, wow, that's cool that they all sing Bird too. Because, if you don't travel, you don't really know those things.
Right.
You ever have those moments where when you're young, you remember just seeing other singers and going like, well, they do it just like us?
I got a cool story. It includes your dad.
Oh.
The first time I ever experienced Cuhuilla singing was in Saboba. And it was Junior, Steve, and Tony Peno. And I never heard Bird like that, ever. And we just came out dancing. We didn't walk on and get in line. We just came out dancing and dancing in front of Junior. And that's how much we were into it. We were just so into Bird. We just came out dancing. It was fun. And then I remember maybe a year or two down the road, that's the last time I seen it. Year or two down the road, we went to San Luis Rey. And your dad was singing, Ron Christmas. He was out there singing, and we go, okay, well, let's go dance. Me and Wayne, we want to go dance. So we went out there and dance, and then he spins and he ends it. Boom. Like, all right, so we're waiting, and then he's singing, and then he spins, and so we go out there and start dancing. Boom, he ends it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, let's try it one more time. And we did it the third time, and he spun, ended it, like, forget it. You take the hint, that's dancing. And then it was like 3 months later, we came out to Campo, and Leroy Elliott was singing, and I sat there and I was just listening, and I was paying attention, and then Leroy was spinning, and it ended, and I was like, oh, that's the way they sing it. We're all thinking your dad was like, oh, these kids.
So yeah, like when we go singing places, we take the gourd like you're talking about at the end and finish. My dad, Leroy, they learned from the same man, and that's how he did it. But we'll go around singing, and I try to keep that going, but a lot of times I can't, because like if there's contests and things like that, a lot of the dancers in different areas, they're taught you don't start getting down and really dancing until that song goes around. So when I was first traveling around singing, I would finish it the way I did, and everyone would look at me like, what are we doing? Then I felt bad for not just the dancers, because they didn't have a chance to really show their stuff, but the coordinator. And then I kind of get the idea like where it's like, maybe they don't even want me to sing because they don't want that to happen, So it's like, it doesn't hurt me to just take it a few more verses after. And I've actually kind of over the period of time, kind of gone into where you could do both styles, where I'll take the song up and go around early, and then when we're doing more ceremonial stuff, we'll do it the more traditional way that I was taught. Tradition for us, I should say, because the first time I'd ever seen that was we had dancers coming and dancing like that, and Leroy took it 2-3 more verses, and I thought, the late Leroy, and I thought, oh, that's cool, give him a chance to dance. 'Cause I never heard him do that, and when he did that, I think we were at a conference or something. They gave him a chance to dance, and he did that a couple of times. I thought that was real nice, real accommodating, and that really is our way to welcome someone in. So I know we try to do that if we can, But at the same time, I want to remember and teach the youngsters that I work with that this is what my teacher did, and this is how they did it. To keep it going forward.
Well, I think it's important to keep our old. This is what separates us from who we are, each other. Meaning like Cahuilla, Kamiyai, Kutan, Mojave, these little nuances that we have within the way we sing and the way we do this song. That's what identifies us, because now everybody look out there and they just everybody's a bird singer.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but you don't know who's who. And those little details tell you who's who. Oh, well, they're Kamiyai, especially into the Indians. But yeah, that's one definitely unique thing for all of us is where we spin and how many times we spin. That's one thing I can say that's definitive. You can identify who's who. Because there's times where I'll listen to tapes or recording, and I'm like, who is it? And I have to listen to the pattern and see where it ends and how it ends. Then I can be, okay, that's Kamiyai. Okay, there's Cahuilla, that's us. So, when there's Kutan. So yeah, it's important. My point is to say that. Like you're saying, we got to look out, because now we're starting to do modern things, which is not powwow, but the contest.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't like contests. I like contests. I don't have a problem with contests. Not because I win here and there, but because trying to give you backstory is what I'm about to say. Is that I've watched out there, I've been in gatherings where everybody's just singing, and then it's like they're out there in the sun, they're just like, and there's nobody on the dance floor. And so I took a little page from the playbook over in Fort Mojave. They had a tap out contest, and that floor was packed. So I came out and I said, all right, I got $100 tap out contest. Boom. I didn't even think there was dancers there at the fiesta. That floor was packed. And it wasn't really the money. It was really the title. winning the title, of winning the tap out contest. Everybody wants bragging rights. So to me, those little contests are little healthy challenges to get people out there. That's all. That's all. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean you're number one dancer, the best ever. So it's no big deal. And if you lose, then oh well, then I missed a step that day. Like I lose quite a bit. I even lose to some of the guys that I taught to dance because I'll miss a step, I'll get nervous, which is I know it sounds funny, me as a lead singer and coordinating these events and all this stuff. Like, how can I miss? Well, I can't. I get nervous. Everybody's watching you. You get nervous. You miss a step. But the thing is this: to keep so that we don't lose our identity and who we are, get up and explain, because of this contest, this is why I'm singing it this way. This is the little change I'm making so that it can work for this contest, for this moment, for what we're doing. Because that way we stay, that memory stays, and we don't, because when we start to leave things out, we're slowly erasing who we are, our true identity. You know what I mean? So to me, it's important.
I know one time, I don't know where it was at. I can't remember what gathering it was. I think it was either a year or 2 years ago. This is the first time I ever heard anybody explain why you guys go up 3 times, or that I think you had explained that you guys go up 3 times, and you had explained that. That was the first time I've ever heard that. It was at a gathering out there somewhere in Arizona, and I just caught like the last bit of it because I was sitting there. I was messing around or something, and then I started hearing you talk, and I was like, "Whoa, wait, what is he saying?" And I started like listening in, and then you had talked about why you guys go up, and everything. And I was like, whoa, this is really interesting. I've never heard that explained, like especially during a gathering setting or anything. And then you had talked about, earlier we were just talking about, when to go out and dance and why we do those things. And you had explained that, hey, these are social songs, go out and dance. You can start dancing, start off dancing and things like that. But like you said, I never knew that. I've never heard that from anybody. But it takes people like you or to explain that and to go out and explain that. And it helps, like you said, not erase our culture, so people would know and continue that knowledge and crazy stuff. But it was cool that you explained that down in Arizona. I don't remember what gathering was at, but it was really awesome to hear. It was crazy.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because the thing is that I'm told by my own people back home, you explain too much. Why are you talking? What? yeah, why are you talking? You don't do that. What do you mean we don't do that? He says, we don't explain things. It's just either known or you learn it from your family. But look at the state we're at. Nobody knows anything. Yeah, nobody knows anything. Nobody knows nothing. They're doing everything wrong. Then they go on that rant, and I'm like, you're helping me plead my case now.
Yeah.
We have to talk about it, because how else are they going to know? We can't be mad at people that don't know because we didn't tell them. So that's the same to talk about it.
Yeah. And I know Raul gets some heat from that too sometimes. He'll talk forever sometimes, especially when he starts singing. But it's like, I think it's needed. For me, I know for a fact I need that, And kind of what Raul was talking about earlier, we do all these singing, we do all these things, and during these point in times, like you'll go back from memory, like, oh, I remember him saying this, or I remember him saying why we have to do this. Back at this point in my life. Oh, I remember we were at that gathering and he was talking about this, and that's how you kind of keep memory. It's hard to just sit there and read a book or whatever and just know it off of memory. You look back at experiences that you remember, like times that you've had, and then you're like, oh yeah, I remember him saying that or this, and that's how I learn. I think that's how a lot of people learn. I mean, at least remember things. It's just looking back on past experiences and things like that. So yeah.
Well, to me, the Fiesta is the perfect place to do it. To talk about something when you're not in the middle of doing it, most people don't really catch the lesson. But when you're there and you're in the middle of it and you're doing it, then you talk about the lesson you're trying to get across. They can relate to it because they're in the middle of it. So that's why, to me, it's important. I'm really, no one's going to believe me. I'm an introvert. I would not, if someone would have told me when I was 16 that you're going to be going out speaking in front of people, then you're going to be singing and dancing in front of people, I was like, yeah, right. I don't even know how to dance, let alone, get up and speak in front of anybody. I didn't talk to you unless you talked to me first. So that when I say I'm an introvert, like I wouldn't talk to you. But to me, the beauty of bird in our culture, like I see more than what was always presented in front of me. Like it's not to sound weird or anything, but like when people were singing, the ones that were singing it, I heard more people singing than what was in front of me. And I heard melodies in the music that wasn't being presented in front of me, And so for me, I'm trying to paint that picture, trying to bring that picture to life. because the thing is, we all benefit from it. It's not just, my idea, my way, which is not. I wish I could say I was the genius that come up with all these things that I'm trying to do, but I'm not. These are things that were in place before, and they just were forgotten and lost. And I've gotten piece from you, piece from you, piece from. It took not just my people, but all of us as a whole, that going on the trail, learning from everybody, because the people come up to you and tell you, and give you little pieces of the puzzle that'll make sense. Like, oh, okay, that's where that comes from. I'm taking all that and now trying to bring it to life. So
you're pretty much saying, so you're a medicine man. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing.
No,
bro. No, I'm just messing. No, so one of the things that I noticed, like, that you kind of made a real good statement on, and to be honest, I never even noticed it. Once you said it, I was like, oh my God, you're right. And that is the standing there versus the going back and forth, which, when I was a kid, we'd always do that, go back and forth. All of, singing at funerals and wakes out our area, it's all back and forth. That's what it's always been. It's just part of it. And then you go to these powwows, these gatherings, and there's a mic there, so you do a few songs, and you go sit back down. You kind of forget that the mic just doesn't move, and that everyone's standing there. And it didn't even dawn on me after years and years of that our people just started to stand without moving back and forth. And the power of the unity of everybody coming back and forth was kind of being lost. And you talked about that, and I thought that was really powerful. I heard it in India and different places where you were saying, hey, look, we're going to dance back and forth. We're dancing past the mics and back, and this is what we're going to do. I thought that was powerful. Is there anything else that you see out there that you feel like needs to be addressed somewhat soon? Have you noticed anything else?
I think it's real important, everybody dancing their style. Like, I see the dancers, they want to be respectful, and so they'll dance what they think is Cahuilla, and in reality, it's not. It's a messed up version of what people think they saw. To me, and I go up to the dancers, and Mojave, Kutan, even Kumia, I'm like, dance your way. Not because I don't want you to dance that way. I want you to dance your way so you don't lose who you are. You don't have to change who you are just because I'm singing. You know what I mean? We're dancing bird. You're still doing it. And you're showing me more respect by keeping your way. Not because I don't, if anything, people say, well, it sounds like you're being exclusive. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm making sure we all stay together. Like, recently we went to New Mexico and we sang at the Gallup ceremonial. Yeah. And before I did that, I talked to, I don't want to put anyone on blast. It's not a bad thing. But I talked to a few people that are head over here, about how the Kumeyaay girls should dance. And then I talked to the girls. I'm like, what do you want to do? Like, because we're going to go back and forth. Are you okay with that? And they said, well, yeah, we can do that. And I've seen the girls that has to go, they can dance. So I knew it wouldn't be a problem. But at the same time, though, I said, I'm not here to tell you how to represent yourself. Mm-hmm. So you're Kumeyaay, so you decide how you want to do that. And so they said, well, they want to dance the way they've been. And we just incorporated moving back and forth. And to me, it looked, and that was just, I don't know if you guys got to see the
video. I saw it. I thought it looked beautiful. You know what I took from it? And I think if someone doesn't know bird, they go, wow, it's beautiful. It's this nice display. But someone who comes from it and knows even a little bit about it, I think can realize, holy smokes, this is a display of all the bird. You have the river bird, people from the river doing their style, their dress style, seeing the capes. You have the Kumeyaay style, the ladies that were there. All the dresses were the same color scheme. Beautifully made. I don't know who made that, the dresses, but did it grow? I do know, actually. I think Kuchan made was the dresses?
Yeah, Jessica Paddock.
Jessica Paddock. Okay, I think I heard that. Beautiful dresses. Shout out to Jessica. And then all you gentlemen, from different parts of the bird world also. And I thought it was beautiful. I thought it sounded good, looked good. And I thought the girls really were on display there as well.
And that's what, to me, that was the thing was that, what I loved is that afterwards, the girls came up to me and said, like, some ladies from out that way, and that was, and a couple of the Pueblo people over there had come up to them and said, hey, we loved your dance, it was beautiful. I mean, out there, they love bird. But they said they really complimented on how you guys were all dancing together, but what was great is that you could tell who was who, and you guys were still in sync, still in unison. And that's the thing, bird, well, like you said, when I was coming up in bird, I always seen it, everybody was moving together in unison, not opposite left and right and going against each other. It was always in unison. And so to me, just trying to bring that back. And that was the picture when they asked us to come sing. Sure, we can go out there, sing and do whatever. They would have been happy with it. But to me, I see a bigger picture than that. I see that as an opportunity because I knew it was going to be seen on Facebook. Like, this is what I've been talking about. All of us singing together in unison. That's more powerful than someone going out there and doing their own thing. Like, I had one lady ask me in class when I was teaching bird. She says, well, what if somebody just wants to go out there and they just want to do their own thing? And I said, well, they're doing that in a dance that's supposed to be bringing us together. So you're saying you want to be separate. Then why are you there? You know, the whole point of coming out and dancing, especially when you're doing it with everyone else, it becomes powerful because you realize, hey, I'm not alone in this. That's what makes it powerful. You know, having everybody out there doing their own individual thing, you know, the vibe is not there. It's not connected. Yeah, you're having fun, but then it's not that unity. It's not that strength. It's not that power that when you see, like, you ever see the haka? The Maoris do the haka?
Yeah.
That is powerful.
Yeah.
I'm not even Maori, but that thing affects me. You know, every time, you know, it does. It gets me shaken up because it's so powerful to see not just 10 guys, but I see the video, there was 300 of them doing that. And that's just like, oh, it hits you. It hits you.
So that one little video with that little guy, he was like a little tiny guy, he was like leading it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like, you talk about unity and everybody going together. Even like somebody like a little guy like that, he was leading it, like a little guy. It was just so powerful because it was everyone together. Yeah.
So to answer your question, go back to it, and it's going back story. But that was only a piece. That was a glimpse of what the capability of the amazing dance that we could do when I'm talking about bird. Because only there you just saw Kutani, you just saw Kumiai, and heard Cahuilla.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the perfect setting would have been hearing Mojave, hearing Kumiai, hearing Cahuilla, and hearing Kutsan, and then seeing those dances represented as it's happening right there. And you get to see, watching it, even though everybody's doing their style, but you see us all moving in unison, singing, dancing in unison. To me, that would be amazingly powerful.
That's crazy. That's crazy that you said that because I was literally just talking to somebody like a couple of days ago, like 4 or 5 days ago, and they had asked me that question. If I you know, and I gave the best answer that I could give, but they asked me like, hey, if I go to this place or if I go to that place, I go to this place, should I dance their style? You know, should I dance their style? You know, or how does that go about? But I think that's like the perfect answer that you gave is, you know, obviously, you know, dance in unison. If everyone's doing, you know, dancing in unison, but you're dancing your style and everything, it, like you said, it becomes beautiful, it becomes powerful. It shows that we're not all individuals. We're a huge nation, and we have this whole bird culture, and we have this whole, you know, we're all Southern California natives, and you know, we have like these tribes out, you know, in like Arizona and all these other places, and they're huge on the map. You know, they have huge reservations, and we're really like, you know, spotted throughout, but you know, we're all, you know, connected some way and somehow, and you know, like bird and everything, bird especially, we're connected through, and we all need to dance in unison and have a good time. I don't know, that's cool. It's a good way to explain that.
A friend of mine, she's from Rongo. She put it in a way that I never really thought about before. And women always do this for me. They always put the most insightful lessons in me, and I hear them from women. I always got them from women. But she said, her name's Pip Martin from Rongo. She said, you know, us doing our tradition and our culture, you know, singing and dancing and doing our language, that's like a protest to the government. And I was like, you know, I never looked at it that way. She goes, so doing this, because I talked to her about the idea, she was like, doing this would be the ultimate like fist in their face. Because we're doing the American way, the me thing. Mm-hmm. We're doing the me thing out there. Individual, that's the American way. You know, do your thing by yourself, be self-made. Versus our way, our original way has been an us thing. It's always been an us thing. And us doing everything together would be the ultimate fist in their face, you know, the ultimate protest.
How important or how closely connected does that go into leadership of bird? You know, you see a lot of people coming and becoming interested in bird, wanting to learn, get their kids involved, join the circle and do all of those things. It seemed like it used to be the mentality was, again, not so individualized, not so me, but more of an us thing. So the idea of actually leading the songs was such an alien idea. It was like some old guy would lead, and you were just there to learn, participate, be a part of it, and that was enough. But it seems like today, that's not enough. Someone will sing for a year, 2, or they'll get their kid involved, they'll learn 10, 20 songs, and then they want to be their own thing. They want to be their own lead, they want to get their own group together. They don't want to be part of the group, you know, they don't want to listen to their teacher anymore. It seems like that me versus us mentality has affected a lot of the bird leadership. I guess you could say, if you want to call that leadership. Do you see that as a danger moving forward? The quote unquote YouTube singer, is that something old people are talking about, these kids these days, or is that a real danger, do you see?
To me, I see it's a huge danger to the detriment or the devastation of our culture. It'll destroy it. The reason I say that is because we've forgotten what the singer's role is within our tribe. That's what the talk was about before that we had at Capital was what's the role of a singer, and what they do within our communities. And they're the ones that bring the light. They're the ones to light up the darkness in the hard times. And in order to do that, you have to know the music. You have to know how things are done. A leader, I mean, if you don't know those things, just because you copy a song, you're just mimicking something. You can't do that. You can't create that moment. And really, it's not to me. It's not the individuals that are coming up saying and doing the singing. It's the ones behind them.
Yeah.
It's gonna sound bad, but it's the parents or it's some cultural department that's trying to say, hey, look, this is what we're doing with our youth, and then we keep, to me, by not making them follow a leader, getting in with the leader, and having a teacher, and just what they're doing is they're creating bragging rights for themselves. Mm-hmm. They're not even really looking at that kid who they're putting in that position. It's not for them. It's so that they can go and have those bragging rights, and that's what it is, And in reality, that's exactly what it is. Instead of looking like we want to create someone who's useful within our community, who could be able to do these things when we call upon them. And they won't be able to if they don't have a teacher. And all those kids are doing, all those individuals are doing is what's, getting them the attention that they're craving. Everybody wants to be respected. Everybody wants to be seen. And, then do things that are respectful. Do things that are going to make you seen in that light. That'll get you that attention you're craving. Be that person.
I like it.
No, I do like that because I totally understand. I agree with that as far as like the people behind the scenes. And for me, not to make it sound bad or anything, but what I do see is like those people that are behind, like you're talking about, that are pushing these people to do that. And so a lot of those people that I've seen like aren't really attached to it. They aren't attached to that culture. They aren't like in the front lines. For me, because like if they were in the front lines doing those things, they would understand that. But so there are a lot of people on the backside, and they want to be a part of that. So they attach to these certain people, and they're like, okay, well, and they ask for information, and then they put them on, to the younger people or to that group, and they just carry on. It's like a continuous, asking, and then they push them into that light, and for me, like I don't plan on being a lead singer anytime soon, forever. I will be a helper for as long as I can, realistically. And I don't, maybe I will never be one, and I am totally okay with that. When I first joined, my whole purpose of trying to learn bird was so that I can teach my nephews and maybe my kids one day, So that was literally the reason why. So I know my nephews aren't a part of it yet, and who knows if they ever will be. But that was my whole goal, is to teach them, and so never was it to be out in the light.
So what do you you've had a lot of students in your day. What do you tell a parent when they say, well, I want them to be your student, but then I also want them to be this other gentleman's student, and I'm going to take them down, and they're going to learn not even Cuhuilla bird, different. They're gonna learn Cuhuilla bird, and they're gonna learn a little bit of peepaw or something like that. Do you what do you tell a parent like something like that? Do you feel that there's a value to them having one teacher or maybe a small group of teachers?
Thankfully, I haven't run into that one yet. But even when a parent comes to me and says, I want my kid to learn from you, I tell them, well, your kid has to ask me, not you, because the kid has to want to do it. Mm-hmm. And no matter what age somebody wants to learn, if they don't have it in them to ask, it's not for you. And I don't care what anybody thinks about me saying that, but it's true. If you're not hungry, then you ain't going to go out and get no food. You know what I mean? You're not going to do what it takes to get fed because you're not hungry. And if they don't care enough about it to even ask for it, then it's not for that person. Mm-hmm. Because then because it takes a lot of sacrifice to learn this stuff, a lot of sacrifice. And then when you ask them, hey, it's time for you to sacrifice something, like, hey, well, I didn't ask for this in the first place. You put this on me. They see it as a burden. So to me, it's important. If you don't ask, you don't get. So in that situation where, they would say they want to have multiple teachers, I'm like, you can't have multiple teachers. You got to do one thing at a time, start and then go on. but it has to be no. When you go, you learn from somebody. You have to commit to them. You have to be willing to commit to them because those of us that have sacrificed for it, we're talking about like half our life we've been sacrificing for it to learn it, and then someone just says, "Hey, give it to me." Oh, okay, and I don't know what you're gonna do with it. How do you know you can be trusted? Do you even know what you're asking for? Because in reality, they're asking for a responsibility, but they don't see it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen one time where this other from Wallapai, he come up and he asked one of the singers. He says, "Hey, can you sing for my granddaughter? This is going to be first time singing since she's been in mourning, and we'd like for you to sing a song." He goes, "Yeah, sure." So then we gather around and he starts singing. He starts singing, "Haiva, haiva, kutamale, haiva, haiva, kutamale." And I'm thinking, why is he singing this song? This is not the song. Because what he's saying is it's the end. It's the edge of something. That's what he's saying. But she's supposed to be coming out. And he's saying, "Oh, but you're talking about the end of something." And so afterwards, I wanted to ask him, and we went to eat lunch, and his stepdad goes, "Hey, I want to ask you a question." He said, "What's that?" "Why didn't you sing that song? It's like the end of something. What are you doing?"
No.
"Oh, ha, ha, ha. I don't know. I just thought it would be cool. It sounded good at the moment." And that's what I'm talking about. That old man was asking him to do something great for his daughter, bring her out, to lift her up. Thank God she didn't know what that meant. And I'm sorry if you know what it means now.
So it would have been cool he sang that and then another song to maybe, but not just that. He just left it hanging. That was that.
It was the wrong one. It was the wrong one. And that's what I'm saying. You have to know what you're singing about in order to do that for people, and that's what people are asking for. And that's the thing is too, people need to know what they're asking for. Stop looking at things just for face value and really care about the meaning, because the meaning, when you hear the words and what they're saying and what they're talking about, then that makes it even more powerful.
I think that's real important. You say, know what you're asking for. Because I see out our way, maybe it's a thing of being young. You want to be the guy, you want to be the guy in lead and whatnot. But once you are put in that position out our way, that means that doesn't mean you're just going to be singing at gatherings. It means you're going to sing for close burnings and funerals and wakes. And it's not like you sing, you have the luxury of deciding when those things happen. Sometimes they happen multiple times a week. Sometimes they happen every week for a couple months. Sometimes you just go and go and go, and they wear you out. And I think if you haven't been on that trail a little bit for a few years to at least a few years, maybe a dozen years to see what that life's really like, you have no clue what you're getting yourself into. I was telling a parent that I say, it's good that your son wants to lead and be in this and everything, but you don't have to rush. You have a lot of years left. Because I do know that your idea of it's very different now than after you go 4 or 5 years and you're there and you sang 2 nights in a row and you're wore out and you don't feel good and they ask you to be there the next night and you got to be there and you got to help and especially if you got a job, you got things you got to do. And you do see the other singers, different areas who take on that role. It has a very, very harsh impact on their health. You see people becoming elders way premature because it has such a physical impact on their health. They put themselves out of the way and they say, I'm going to do these songs, I'm going to do this responsibility and not think about my own health sometimes. And you see them start to slowly fall apart. And because they are truly dedicating themselves to the people beyond everything. And I think sometimes some youngsters maybe don't understand that. They don't see it like that. They don't think about that. They just want to lead at the gathering, at the powwow. What do you do to take care of yourself to stay physically fit? I mean, you've been singing for a long time. You get called to do a lot of different things, but it seems like you're holding up good. What are some things that you do to stay healthy?
Yeah, definitely changed the way I eat. I've been doing that. I actually hired somebody to do meal prepping for me.
Wow.
And you would think, oh, you're going too far. No, because the thing is that, not in my 20s no more.
Hey, I had the government doing it for me for a while. We just called them commods. Just kidding.
Singing from sundown to sunup at a wake, it's exhausting. So you gotta prepare for that. And going to gatherings and everybody thinks, oh, well, of course it's easy because you love singing. Well, of course it's that. But there are times where physically your voice can't handle it. You go in an area that's dry and you're not used to it. So yeah, just stay water and make sure I don't splurge on anything. Don't eat too much before you sing because then you're like
burping on.
Like I was like, that's just it's over the top for me. So yeah, I just it is important. It is important that you bring it up. It is important your health, to take care of yourself, to eat healthy, and so that you can be there for the people to call on you. Because the thing is that we have two very well-known and important singers that are not really good in health-wise. They're not good in a healthy way. They both started dialysis, and that's, to me, is scary.
Mm-hmm.
Even me being Cahuilla, they're part of your guys' tribe and the Mojave. It still affects us because this is our cultural world is small. We're all united, and we sing for each other. So to me, it's very scary because their health. Now the clock's ticking, and it makes me look like that. I don't like to waste time. See, people kind of look at me like I'm too intense. They say, "Oh, you're too serious," and this and that. It's not that. I'm moving on urgency because just like 2 weeks ago, we buried a brother that's 32 years old. 32 years old. That dude just didn't wake up the next day. So that, and we as singers, we're surrounded by death all the time. Try not to make the podcast dark or anything, but I'm explaining why I come at things the way I do. Because to me, the way I look at it is, I want to take advantage of the time that I have to say the things that need to be said, to do the things that need to be done, so that we can have this life be an amazing life, not one that's one of suffering. These gatherings that we do, this dance that we do, this song that we do, instead of waiting for it to happen by accident, we could do it on purpose and make it happen anytime we want. Make that moment in heaven happen anytime we want, because we have the formula to. We just need to do it. So that's why I talk the way I do. That's why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. Not because I'm trying to be dominant or anything. It's because I see the urgency of what needs to be, in order to make that happen. To see that vision I was saying before that I'd seen and heard, to make that a reality, so that everybody could see, like, oh, that's what you're talking about. Like, man, why did we do this sooner?
Yeah.
That's what I see. Once it does happen, because I see it coming, I think once it happened, we're going to sit back and I'm going to come behind you guys. What do you think? And you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. And like, okay, I get it now. I get it. So, I apologize for people. And it's hard for me to say that because I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong. People might think that I'm coming at too intense. But it's because it's the urgency. Mm-hmm. Just like, I know that somebody's sick. Well, here's the medicine. Take it, take it. Like, nah, I don't want that. No, take it. So that's why I'm like,
it's the great shot clock of Mike Mirelez. He will go down in history as, oh, you mean the shot clock guy. The great shot clock of life. Hurry up, shoot or get out of the way. Shoot. I've always been against that, like, no shot clock, but I don't want nobody in no bus. But we played a game a few weeks back. And I was like, where's the shot clock? Where's the shot clock?
First time I ever thought about having a shot clock.
It was rough.
First time I was like, man, we need this.
It was like around the gates, like 20 minutes on the first shot. I was like, wait, are we really playing right now? What are we doing here? We won the Yoda, came out singing. We're like, okay, is there something? Like, it was like, the Matrix is broken? Like, what's going on here? The record's playing, To
me, what would get away for me, like, even if we're worried about a shot clock, the rule would be you can't get up except to go to the bathroom. You got to stay on your knees the whole entire time. You do that rule, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, be quick.
You ain't got to worry about it on shot clock.
So you, getting back to health though, so you work out, you got a black belt in jiu-jitsu? I feel like that's a little known thing that people don't know about Mike Mirelez, is that you are a martial artist like that.
Yeah, I got a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt from Higa Machado. So Higa Machado is... He's a big name in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So me getting a black belt from him is huge. That's like going to Yale or Harvard,
Yeah.
And to get a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, that's not like a karate black belt or any other martial art, because in there you get it just from being in time. Oh, you've been here 3 months? Here you go. I mean, there's little kids that are black belts, which don't make no sense, because to have a black belt signifies that you're a master in the art. Okay, so... that's why with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they're strict on it. Like, you have to be able to fight. You have to be able to fight in order to get that black belt. If you can't, then you ain't getting it. Mm-hmm. So anytime you got color within the Jiu-Jitsu system, it wasn't like, oh, you're excited. It was more like, okay, now I got to defend this belt right here. I got to live up to, I am this level.
How long did it take you to get that belt?
16 years.
16 years.
16 years.
Wow.
So that whole thing about, and that wasn't me just going on and off. No, I'm still doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
They've been rolling since about 23. I was 23 I started.
You have anybody ever crank your neck and hurt your singing?
No, nothing that ever affect my singing. No.
Probably helped on that cardio, that rolling around. That's
Oh yeah.
Pushing the diaphragm out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's good, man. That's good stuff. Well, it's always good seeing you here, man. It was great. It was
Any plugs you want to throw out before we call it a day?
Just be ready for Cabazon and Thanksgiving, and then also Morongo Powwow end of the month of September. See you guys there, Peon and Bird.
Yeah, boy. There's always good times down there. We'll be down. Everybody out there in the world. Again, this is Mike Mirelez, Spitfire himself. What do you go by? What's your official name? What do you go by? DC Bird.
It depends. If I have my Mojave brothers helping me, then we do Spitfire. If it's just me and Bo, we're DC.
That's why the difference. I get it. That makes a lot of sense. Never knew that. I just call him Mike Mirelez.
Well, see, okay, real quick for that's one thing I don't like. I don't like being individualized, because then that it pushes them out. That's why, and I keep telling people, hey, say the group name.
Yeah. Because
what ends up happening is, not just in our group, but any other group, if you just say the individual, that starts a little animosity within their group. Like, no, it's always about them.
Like the Temptations and David Ruffin.
Exactly.
They didn't come to see you, Otis. They came to see David Ruffin. Hey, we went somewhere to sing recently, and they came down and were shaking hands. And these guys were teasing me because they were like, I didn't notice it. They were shaking hands, hugs, all these kind of things, right? And then, I guess they didn't shake the rest of the Lions' hands. They just, were walking off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're all behind this guy.
Yeah.
He's all sitting there hugging, kissing, baby, signing,
Kissing baby. Running from air.
Foreheads. And then everyone after us went, okay.
I think one little kid shook a hand, and that was it. Yeah, no, we do the same thing. We do a shout out to Cook. It's just weird when people call your name on the big speaker, right?
Yeah.
It just you feel like everyone's looking at you. You don't need that. You don't need that drama in your life, Ricky Bobby.
Well, again, just a reminder, it's an us thing. Name the group. Don't name the individual. Name the group. It's always an us thing.
Because it's a group effort.
That's
for
cool,
sure.
man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming in. We can do one last thing before we go. We always, to kind of help promote our hand games, just to give people an idea of it. You know what it is, Peon, you played us. But we have a set there.
We're going to ask you if you want to do that, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to ask if you'd be willing to tie him on real quick. And we shoot, or he's going to tie him on, you're going to shoot him, left or right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, little known fact, Mike Mirelez is a really good player. I haven't lost yet. So, a little
played Mike 20 times.
A little nervous.
I played Mike 20 times and lost once. Hey. The last time we played, hey.
We got a real Peon player right
here. We got a real guy. Usually we have people in here that never played, so it's like their first time to shoot. And it's our own people, but it's the only time. So.
That's cool. I like that.
Now we got the real thing.
This is the sign off. All right, so this is.
Who got who is over.
All right, let me tie this last one on. Here we go. And we're shooting for the white, right? Or
you can shoot whatever you want. You can shoot whatever you want.
You can shoot whatever you want.
Hey, say it right though. Don't throw out no fake Mexican stuff. What is it? What is it? A weta. A weta.
A weta.
Diddle.
You got me. Mike Mirelez there, folks.
The man, the myth, the legend, the champ.
Legend.
Show just why.
All right, guys. All right, have a great night, guys. We are live from the Res, 2 Dark Natives.
And Mike.
And Mike Mirelez.
The light guest.
Hey.